Video games play a role in representation, perception, and personal bias on race. The stereotype that black men are violent dates all the way back to the early formation of the United States, as one of the many excuses to dehumanize black people, keep them trapped as slaves, and as an excuse to abuse and kill them. Even after slavery's abolition was enforced, the idea that black men are violent continued to be used as one of many excuses to discriminate and incriminate black people, especially black men. Racism, discrimination, hate, and negative stereotypes have been around for so many generations and taught from a young age that racism was and is still being perpetuated, sometimes in ways that not everyone is conscious of. Nowadays, there are many forms of media that have the power to influence, reinforce, and amplify previously existing biases. It would take too long to cover every medium, and since video games are a popular media, that will be our focus. The very first fighting game to be released, according to Sega Retro, was Heavyweight Champ in 1976. Sega's arcade release of Heavyweight Champ in 1976, which arguably showed the first black video game character on screen, was likely the starting point of black representation in video games. It's arguable, however, because the game was rendered in grayscale, with one light and one dark player. In the 1987 reiteration of the franchise, the player's race becomes undeniable as the game shifted away from grayscale to a multicolored program. According to Terra Localization's article titled Black Culture and Representation in Video Games, Black History Month, she states, starting in the 1970s, games like Heavyweight Champ and Atari Basketball started to show different colored characters' appearance. However, the imagery of these characters is hard to tell apart because of the scale and TV formats at the time. They just showed that one was darker than the other. The game Punch-Out! 1987 featured detailed fighting characters, even though it was very popular in its time. Some of these fighting characters were heavily based on stereotypes. Characters in this game, such as Bald Bull, were presented as big, scary fighters. Their appearance includes huge teeth and crazy eyes, in comparison to the main character, or challenger, who is quote-unquote handsome and white. People of the black community were reasonably excited to have representation in video games, but the representation could have been better. Having the first ever black avatar appear in the first ever fighting game wouldn't improve stereotyping and racial profiling. Nowadays, as many have noticed, there is an increase in popularity among video games that involve fighting and violence. Games like Grand Theft Auto offer characters of different races to pick from, but this game is also quite violent. A study was conducted to test the effect of avatar race in violent video games on racial attitudes and aggression, which is actually the title of the research report. This study, published online March of 2014 by Sage Publications, has an abstract that breaks down the findings of the study. The abstract is as follows. The media often link black characters and violence. This is especially true in video games, in which black male characters are virtually always violent. The research tested on the effects of playing a violent game as a black character versus a white character on racial stereotypes and aggression. In Experiment 1, white participants who played a violent game as a black avatar displayed stronger implicit and explicit negative attitudes towards blacks than did participants who played a violent video game as a white avatar or a non-violent game as a black or white avatar. In Experiment 2, white participants who played a violent video game as a black or white avatar displayed stronger implicit attitudes linking blacks to weapons. Implicit attitudes, in turn, related to subsequent aggression. Black violent game avatars not only make players more aggressive than do white avatars, they also reinforce stereotypes that blacks are violent. It is important to mitigate negative stereotypes and promote accurate representation of race and culture in media, because implementing such a good practice has the potential to demote negative attitudes towards those of different races and improve perception of the people around us and the world around us. We all like to be accurately and positively represented. A world with less hate, division, injustice, and fear sounds like a nice world to me. How about you?